Parliament's Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2024. D'après ce Explanatory Memorandum qui vient circuler dans le Parlement, l'objectif de ce projet de loi-là, c'est pour implémenter une mesure qui vient annoncée dans le discours budget 2024-2025 et pour des affaires connectées, conséquentes et par rapport à ce sujet-là. The Maurice Stratégie Board Bill. D'après Explanatory Memorandum qui vient circuler dans le Parlement, l'objectif de ce projet de loi-là, c'est pour établir le Maurice Stratégie Board, qui est aussi connu comme le Maurice Stratégie. Le Maurice Stratégie pour prendre toute bonne fonction et pouvoir de Maurice Stratégie Company Limited. Sa board-là peut aussi agir comme un bureau de recherche et planification pour, premièrement, donner soutien au gouvernement à travers un plan de développement, vision et stratégie à court et long terme. Deuxièmement, faire une recherche et analyse économique approfondie pour soutenir un choix politique. Le Maurice Stratégie peut aussi animer des débats publics et formule une recommandation pour soutenir un choix collectif aux problèmes sociaux, économiques et environnementaux, et finalement évaluer une politique gouvernementale. Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Bill. D'après ce Explanatory Memorandum qui vient circuler dans le Parlement, l'objectif de ce projet de loi-là, c'est pour amender plusieurs la loi pour capable répondre à un standard international du Financial Action Task Force, le blanchiment d'argent et combattre le financement terroriste et sa propagation.
honourable members, pursuant to Section 32 of the Constitution and Standing Order 7 of the Standing Orders and Rules of the National Assembly, the Assembly will now proceed with the election of the Speaker. I therefore invite 2 honourable members to move and to second the election of a member present in this Assembly or otherwise to be elected to the office of the Speaker and to take the chair of the Assembly.
Madam Clerk, in accordance with the provisions of Section 32 of the Constitution and Standing Order 7 of the Standing Orders and Rules of the National Assembly, I move that Mr. Adrien Charles Duval be elected Speaker of the National Assembly. Madam Clerk, in line with the tradition in this House, I wish to say a few words on Mr. Adrien Duval, whom I am proposing for election as Speaker of the House. Mr. Adrien Duval holds an LLB from the University of Kent, United Kingdom. He followed the bar professional training course at the College of Law, London. He was called both to the Bar of England and Wales and to the Bar of Mauritius in 2014, and is a member of Gray's Inn. Mr. Adrien Duval will have 10 years standing at the Mauritian Bar this year, having practiced in both civil and criminal law as a litigator. Mr. Adrien Duval contested the 2014 general elections in constituency number 17, Cupip and Midlands, and was returned first member for the said constituency to serve the National Assembly. On 22nd of December 2014, Mr. Adrien Duval was elected by the Assembly to serve as Deputy Speaker and held this office until 19th December 2016. During his tenure as Deputy Speaker, he held the post of Chairperson of the House Committee, member of the Standing Orders Committee, and member of the Committee of Selection. At the General Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union held in Lusaka, Zambia, from 19th to 23rd of March 2016, Mr. Adrien Duval was elected by the Governing Council to serve as the representative of the Africa Group, representing 48 member states of the African continent, on the Committee to Promote Respect for International Humanitarian Law of the IPU on a 4-year term with effect from April 2016. His abilities and qualities during his tenure of office as Deputy Speaker at the National Assembly have been recognized by all the honorable members from both sides of the House. In view of his professional background and experience as Deputy Speaker, I have no doubt that Mr. Adrien Duval will serve the House with the same dedication and distinction. With these words, I move that Mr. Adrien Charles Duval be elected Speaker of the National Assembly.
I second the motion.
As there is no other proposal, I declare Mr. Adrien Charles Duval present in the House, elected as Speaker, and invite him to come to the upper step to take the oath and to, in the first instance, to sign the roll of membership and then take the chair.
I, Adrien Charles Duval, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Mauritius according to God, to law, so help me God. Honourable members, in accordance with custom, I vow to submit myself to the will of the House. I am grateful for the confidence the House has placed in me, and in particular the Honourable Prime Minister, Leader of the House, for the kind words said to my address. I have had the privilege of serving the House as the youngest Deputy Speaker from December 2014 to December 2016. My experience in such a capacity has been enriching, but whatever may have been the circumstances, I have always done my best to rise above and chaired proceedings in serenity. I am particularly honored today that I am being entrusted with the highest responsibility of a legislature. Honourable members, the Speaker is the symbol of the authority of Parliament. The Speaker is the symbol of the authority of Parliament and custodian of our parliamentary rights and guardian of our parliamentary liberties. Well, I reserve my speech. I shall reserve my speech to a later occasion.
Announcements none. Papers have been laid. Question?
Honourable members, I will suspend the sitting until such time as I shall name. honorable members. I will read my speech anew. In accordance with custom, I vouch to submit myself to the will of the House. I am grateful for the confidence the House has placed in me, and in particular, the Honourable Prime Minister, Leader of the House, and for the kind words that he has said to my address. I have had the privilege of serving as the youngest Deputy Speaker from December 2014 to December 2016. My experience in such capacity has been enriching, but whatever may have been the circumstances, I have always done my best to rise above and chair the proceedings in serenity. I am particularly honored that today I am being entrusted with the highest responsibilities of the legislature. Honourable members, the Speaker is the symbol of the authority of Parliament and custodian of our parliamentary rights and guardian of our parliamentary liberties. I pray that together we preserve the dignity of the House and the respect that it commands. I aspire that my tenure as Speaker of the House will contribute in strengthening our parliamentary democracy, and I pledge to uphold the decorum and dignity of the House in strict application of the standing orders at all times. Before I take the chair, I have now taken the chair, and I wish to extend my gratitude to the clerk and to all the officers of the House for their endearing work. I thank you.
Announcements, non-papers. Papers have been laid. Question. Motion.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10.
Seconded.
The question is that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10. Those in favour say aye, those against say no. Aye. The ayes have it.
Statements by ministers none. Public bills first reading.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move that the Finance Bill number 10 of 2024 be read the first time.
Seconded.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move that the Maurice Stratégie Board Bill number 11 of 2024 be read a first time.
Public bills second reading.
The Honourable Bola.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2024 be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, sir, I seize this opportunity at the start of my speech to congratulate you upon your election as Speaker of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, in my intervention on the budget speech in this August Assembly on 10th June 2024, I informed the House that an anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism and proliferation AML-CFT-CPF bill was being drafted. Today, I am pleased to introduce this bill, which aims to amend various enactments with a view to meeting international standards of the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, on anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism and proliferation, and to provide for matters related thereto. This bill is not just a technical exercise, but a vital step towards ensuring that our framework remains resilient and up-to-date. Mr. Speaker, sir, before delving into the clauses of this bill, the House will acknowledge the remarkable progress achieved by this government to enhance our AML-CFT-CPF framework, propelling Mauritius into the echelon of top-tier jurisdictions rated as compliant or largely compliant with all 40 FATF recommendations. This achievement is a testament of our commitment to safeguarding our financial system, as well as ensuring that Mauritius remains a trusted international financial center. Despite this significant milestone, we must acknowledge that the landscape of AML CFT CPF is ever evolving. The challenges we face today are different from those of yesterday, and new risks emerge constantly with sophisticated methods employed by criminals. This bill adopts forward-looking measures to anticipate and prepare us for these challenges. As such, this bill not only reinforces Mauritius' position for the forthcoming mutual evaluation, but also demonstrates the sustained high-level political commitment that this government made to the FATF and ESAMLAG. In addition, by fostering a robust regulatory environment, we create a supportive atmosphere for business and innovation, ultimately benefiting our citizens and the wider economy. Mr. Speaker, sir, now allow me to elaborate on the approach adopted in the development of this piece of legislation. Firstly, adopting a whole of government approach, all competent authorities involved in AML CFT CPF submitted their proposals for legislative amendments to address any gaps in the legislative framework and to increase operational effectiveness. Secondly, a legal team was set up at the level of my ministry to analyze the proposed legislative amendments. The team is chaired by a representative from the Attorney General's office and includes members from the Financial Services Commission and the Bank of Mauritius, who collaborated with my ministry to assess the implications of these amendments of existing legislation on existing legislation and evaluate their alignment with FATF recommendation. In line with government's policy to develop effective mitigating measures grounded on an up-to-date understanding of risks across the financial services sector, the legal team has also considered legislative proposals to address any legislative gaps identified during the national risk assessment exercise. Thirdly, consultation was held with all the relevant competent authorities to ensure that the bill addresses their requirements. This involved dialogues and collaborative sessions with key stakeholders, including law enforcement agencies, financial sector supervisors, regulatory bodies, and the Financial Intelligence Unit. These consultations were critical in identifying practical challenges and gathering valuable insights to fine-tune the legislative provisions. Mr. Speaker, sir, the bill which I am presenting today will amend 16 legislations, and the main legal amendments focus on the following. 1, enhancing the powers of AML CFT supervisors. 2, broadening factors to be considered when imposing administrative sanctions. 3, strengthening the CFT regulatory framework of non-profit organizations. 4, improving the beneficial ownership framework. And 5, enhancing international cooperation for prompt and constructive exchange of information in line with international standards. In short, the bill provides a comprehensive legislative framework to ensure continuous compliance with international standards and best practices. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will now elaborate on the key features of the bill. Firstly, the amendments under Clause 2 of the Bank of Mauritius Act aim to strengthen compliance with Criterion 40.16 of the FATF methodology, enhancing confidentiality safeguards for any dissemination of information, exchange, or use of that information for supervisory or non-supervisory purposes, unless there is a legal obligation to disclose or report the information exchanged. In addition, amendments in Section 50 of the Bank of Mauritius Act will broaden the factors considered for administrative penalties and introduce new sanctions for non-compliance, aiming to strengthen the regulatory oversight of financial institutions. Proliferation financing will also be included, alongside money laundering, terrorism financing, and financial crime offenses as grounds for collecting, disclosing, or providing access to account information on the Central Accounts Registry. Mr. Speaker, sir, moving to the next legislation being amended, that is a Banking Act, revisions to the interpretation section will ensure that proliferation financing is captured together with terrorism financing and that the term examination captures examination and monitoring exercises conducted on a regular basis, on ad hoc basis, and on the premises of a financial institution, as well as remotely or off-site. The supervisory power of the Bank of Mauritius under Section 45 of the Banking Act has been extended to provide that it may require financial institutions to submit such reports on remedial actions taken following an examination or where other information at its disposal shows that the financial institution or its directors or officers have engaged or are about to engage in unsafe or unsound practices. Section 64A will be amended to enhance the supervisory powers of the Bank of Mauritius on financial institutions operating in a group setup in line with the new FATF methodology. A new section, namely Section 64E, on cooperation and exchange of information with domestic and foreign counterparts, will be added to enhance international cooperation by enabling the prompt and constructive exchange of comprehensive supervisory information with domestic and foreign counterparts for AML, CFT, CPF purposes, while safeguarding confidentiality and proper use of exchanged information. Financial institutions will be mandated to document their risk assessments in writing, keep them up to date, and submit same promptly to the Bank of Mauritius upon request. Mr. Speaker, sir, under Clause 4, the Companies Act will be amended to, amongst others, enhance compliance with criterion 8.4b of the FATF methodology, which relates to the application of effective, proportionate, and dissuasive sanctions for violations by companies limited by guarantee. In addition, companies will be obliged to submit additional evidence to ensure the identity of the beneficial owners. The amendments under Clause 5 provides for the Courts Act to be amended to broaden the scope of witness testimony via approved live video or television link systems in all criminal proceedings. It will further facilitate the admissibility of out-of-court statements when the person is unavailable under conditions ensuring fairness and judicial oversight. Mr. Speaker, sir, Clause 6 proposes the repeal of Section 166(9)(gi) of the Financial Crimes Commission Act to maintain the existing arrangement, that is, the Financial Intelligence Unit will continue to be the AML CFT CPF supervisor for individual legal professionals and law firms. In Clause 7 of the Financial Intelligence and Anti-Money Laundering Act, FIAMLA, various amendments are being proposed. These include broadening the scope of the ministers and the ministry's responsibilities to include combating proliferation financing, providing clarity on the timeline for reporting suspicious transactions to the FIU, emphasizing prompt reporting after the suspicion arises. The time limit of not later than 5 working days for reporting suspicious transactions is also being maintained. Extending the functions of the core group on AML, CFT, CPF to oversee and coordinate matters pertaining to the OECD Convention on combating bribery and formulate policies on capacity building to combat financial crimes. Allowing the Ministry to establish necessary committees for effective administration and implementation of FIAMLA and enhancing the powers of regulatory bodies in relation to the conduct of inspections. Mr. Speaker, sir, under Clause 8, the Financial Services Act, FSA, will be amended to further broaden the supervisory intervention tools of the Financial Services Commission, FSC, to conduct inspections both at the location of the licensee's business and remotely. Furthermore, to maintain a dynamic risk-based approach to the supervision of its financial institutions, the FSA will be amended to require the financial institutions to furnish a range of information in relation to its business activities and mitigating controls in place. This will allow for an effective identification and assessment of MLTF risks, resulting in an intensive and risk-based supervision targeting the high-risk financial institutions. Section 44.8c of the FSA will be amended to impose penalties on individuals who fail to attend summons by an investigator. Mr. Speaker, sir, the amendments under Clause 9 in respect of the Foundation Act will impose, amongst others, further obligations to submit additional information on beneficial owners or ultimate beneficial owners upon the registration of a foundation. In the Gambling Regulatory Authority Act, Clause 10 aligns record-keeping obligations with those in FIAMLA, extending the retention period from 5 years to 7 years. It will also require Money Laundering Reporting Officer, MLRO, a Deputy Money Laundering Reporting Officer, and a Compliance Officer to be a natural person. Mr. Speaker, sir, the amendments under Clauses 11 and 12 concern the Limited Liability Partnerships Act and Limited Partnerships Act, respectively. These clauses will align the definition of beneficial ownership register with that of the Companies Act and with the FATF recommendations. They will also impose further obligations to submit additional information on beneficial owners at the time of partnership registration. Partnerships will be required, as it is the case for other legal persons, to designate one natural person resident in Mauritius to provide basic information to competent authorities. Mr. Speaker, sir, the remaining 5 clauses will consist of amending, first, the Mauritius Revenue Authority Act to enhance the exchange of information with the Financial Intelligence Unit. Second, the Mutual Assistance in Criminal and Related Matters Act to ensure compliance with criterion 37.6 of the FATF methodology, which emphasizes effective collaboration and dual criminality principles. Third, the National Payment Systems Act to enhance the powers of the Bank of Mauritius to take such actions and impose such remedial measures as may be warranted in case of infringement pursuant to the relevant section of the Bank of Mauritius Act. Fourth, the Notaries Act to require every notary to hold at least 2 professional accounts, one for the notarial office and another for clients' funds, ensuring segregation from personal and professional monies. And lastly, the Virtual Asset and Initial Token Offering Services Act to harmonize the FSC's approach to supervising its licensees, allowing the latter to request off-site access to information from virtual asset service providers. Mr. Speaker, sir, this bill is another testimony of government's unflinching commitment to sustain the integrity of the financial ecosystem and to establish a resilient framework that can withstand the complexities and dynamism of rapidly evolving global financial transactions. The enactment of this bill will further bring about significant advancements in our national regulatory and supervisory mechanism by enhancing our compliance standards and the scope of oversight we will better equip our institutions to detect, prevent, and respond to financial crimes effectively. This is not merely a legislative exercise, but a crucial step towards securing our nation's financial future and protecting the interests of all stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is also imperative to acknowledge the broader socio-economic implications of this bill. A robust AML-CFT-CPF framework contributes to a stable and secure financial environment, which is essential for attracting foreign investment and fostering economic growth. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me conclude my intervention by reiterating that this bill represents a significant step in our journey towards excellence in financial regulation and oversight. It is a comprehensive and forward-thinking piece of legislation that not only addresses current challenges, but also anticipates future risks. Recognizing this critical importance, I urge members of this Assembly to support this bill. Mr. Speaker, sir, with these remarks, I now commend the bill to the House.
The question is that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Miscellaneous Provision Bill number 9 of 2024 be read a second time. Those in favor say aye, those against say no.
Aye. Committee stage.
Please be seated.
Clause 1, short title. Clause 2, Bank of Mauritius Act amended. Clause 3, Banking Act amended. Clause 4, Companies Act amended. Clause 5, Courts Act amended. Clause 6, Financial Crimes Commission Act 2023 amended. Clause 7, Financial Intelligence and Anti-Money Laundering Act amended. Clause 8, Financial Services Act amended. Clause 9, Foundations Act amended. Clause 10, Gambling Regulatory Authority Act amended. Clause 11, Limited Liability Partnerships Act amended. Clause 12, Limited Partnerships Act amended. Clause 13, Mauritius Revenue Authority Act amended. Clause 14, Mutual Assistance in Criminal and Related Matters Act amended. Clause 15, National Payment Systems Act amended. Clause 16, Notaries Act amended. Clause 17, Virtual Asset and Initial Token Offering Services Act 2021 amended.
The question is that clauses 1 to 17 stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, those against say no. Aye. The ayes have it.
The title and enacting clause.
The question is that the title and enacting clause stand part of a bill. Those in favor say aye, those against say no. Aye. The ayes have it. The question is that I do report to the House that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Miscellaneous Provision Bill number 9 of 2024 has passed the committee stage without amendment. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Aye. Honourable members, I have to report to the House that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Miscellaneous Provision Bill number 9 of 2024 has passed the committee stage without amendment.
Public bills, third reading.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Miscellaneous Provisions Bill number 9 of 2024 be read a third time and passed.
The question is that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism and Proliferation Miscellaneous Provision Bill number 9 of 2024 be read a third time and passed. Those in favor say aye, those against say no. Aye.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move for adjournment of the House to Tuesday, the 23rd of July at 11:30.
The House stands adjourned.